In many cultures, the pentagram is considered a symbol of protection and warding off evil.
I inadvertently drew a pentagram on a piece of paper, and then I wrote, "This is our club symbol," and then I put that on the door of my bedroom, taped it on the outside. It did not turn out well.
And of course the pentagram is about security.
We have earth and water and fire and air, but then at the top we have, the divine mystery power, God, whatever it is that you want to call it.
One of the main things that I wear is the pentagram. And this is a sacred emblem for the theistic Satanists. Satanas has richly blessed me. I was able to make a trip to Germany and visit my patriarchal coven and receive Silentium in persona diaboli. And just like any old witch, I continued to improve and look for things that I could do to glorify his name.
Welcome back to the show. This is Anna, and you're watching Anna Speaks Out.
So, you may have heard a thing or two before in the past about how certain things that a lot of people do and are totally normal in everyday culture here in the United States and beyond, such as yoga, for example, or celebrating holidays, especially Halloween. You may have heard that those things are actually occult practices that nobody, especially Christians, should be taking part in. Doreen Virtue is a big name who talks about that type of thing. She used to be really popular in the New Age movement, and she made a lot of money in that movement, but she's given all of that up for Jesus, and now she talks about, what she knows now compared to what she used to believe. So she's a really good person to listen to about that type of thing if you want to know more. But yeah, a lot of people get kind of offended when they hear these types of things or they're challenged in that way. A lot of Christians do, because they say, I'm not practicing Kundalini or anything, I'm not doing anything occultic, I'm just stretching, I'm just breathing, I'm just exercising, or, I'm just dressing my kids up in fun superhero costumes. And superheroes are another topic that we could talk about, but, or in as princesses or whatever. Just fun stuff, nothing evil. And I used to think that way at one point as well, until I just learned more and felt very convicted. But in the same vein, when I was a kid, I was just drawing a star, and I just put that up on my door. It was completely innocent in my mind, but I still spent that evening filled with a deep anxiety, probably beyond anything I ever had before at the young age of about 7 or 8 years old. So let me tell you the whole story.
So we're keeping it fresh with these continual background and now hairstyle changes. But anyway, yeah, there's one day that I remember from when I was about 7 or 8 years old probably. I was sitting cross-legged on the floor of my bedroom and doodling on a piece of paper. I had just recently learned how to draw a 5-pointed star. And isn't it interesting that we call that shape a star? Because what does it actually have to do with the stars that are in the sky? Nothing, right? Same thing with even, the heart shape. I'm pretty sure that I actually asked those questions when I was a kid, and I don't think I ever really got any good explanation. And I would still have to do some research into that myself, but it just seems like it has a lot more to do with symbology than anything actually related to the stars in the sky or the heart organs in our bodies. This actually makes me think of Lucky Charms cereal, which of course has to do with a magical leprechaun. So let me know what you think about that. But yeah, so I had my 5-pointed star drawn, and honestly I don't remember, but there is a chance that I might have actually drawn one upside down to, challenge myself, see if I could do that. Because that definitely is the type of thing that I would have done as a kid, but I'm not sure. It was either pointing up or down. Either way, still definitely related to pagan symbology. And the Bible says that God says, if you are not for him, you are against him. And I can tell you from personal experience that Wiccans, at least, because I actually took a few different classes from a Wiccan coven back in about 2015 or so when I was interested in that type of thing. And at every one of those meetings, they were talking about how much Christians are their enemies and how much they dislike Christians. So they are certainly not for the God of the Bible. But anyway, so I had the star drawn on my piece of paper, and then I remember thinking, you know, I want to add something else to this and make it more interesting. So let's draw a circle around the star. Why not? So I did that. And then for whatever reason, I thought it would be fun to say that it was our club. Whoever, you know, I guess me and my sisters or something. Because I shared a room with my two sisters. And so I wrote, "This is our club symbol. No boys allowed," and put it on the outside of my bedroom door. I think the hair looks a little bit better now. But anyway, so yeah, I put that on my door. And then that night when I was in bed trying to fall asleep, I just remember feeling some very strong anxiety, just very, very uneasy, very uncomfortable about that sign that I had put on my door, but I really had no idea why. I was very confused by it.
And the Bible also says that God has not given us a spirit of fear, and also that he is not a God of confusion, but of peace. So you can kind of see what was going on with me here. I was experiencing the presence of something that was ungodly.
And the only thing that I could think of was the fact that I wrote "no boys allowed," and I thought, you know, maybe I was being mean by saying that. Maybe I shouldn't have excluded boys or something like that, because that was the only thing I could think of in my innocent little girl mind. And then a little bit later that night, my mom walked past my door, and I heard her kind of like freaking out a little bit about the sign. I was wondering why, you know, what's going on? Am I going to be in trouble or something? But I was not in trouble. She just let me know that what I had on my door was a satanic symbol, and that we had to take it down and rip it up and throw it away. And so it all made sense after that. And just wanted to share that story to let you know that these symbols, these practices are designed for a certain purpose. So regardless of how you intend to use them, or whether or not you even know what they are for, they do have the potential to open the door to dark spirits, demonic spirits that can attack you in some way or another. And an analogy that I was able to come up with to just put this very simply is this. Imagine that you were somebody who had never heard of or seen a hummingbird feeder, and you also hated hummingbirds, and you would never want them around your home or around you at all. But one day you happened to find a hummingbird feeder, and you put it up outside of your house because you thought it looked cool. You thought it looked nice. And so despite the fact that you would never want hummingbirds around your house and you had never seen a hummingbird feeder before, there is still going to be nectar in that hummingbird feeder, and it's still designed in such a way to attract hummingbirds. And so if you put that up outside your house, the hummingbirds are going to come. It's the same thing with these things like pentagrams or Ouija boards or trying to open your third eye, etc., etc. So just be aware. And thank you for watching.
If you found that interesting, please click the thumbs up, share it around, and consider subscribing. And I'm very curious to know what your thoughts are, so I can't wait to see you in the comments.